पंडित हूँ,
मैं कश्मीरी पंडित हूँ,
मैं अपने देश में दंडित हूँ,
मैं कश्मीरी पंडित हूँ।
मैं अपने
Some guy took out a phone from his pocket. I got so scared because my daughter was with me that I thought he is taking out a gun.
See, they are playing politics on that. They are not allowing us to go to Jammu.
justice, justice,
We want justice.
justice, justice.
था, एक जूता उसने लगाया था और दूसरा जूता वो लगा रहा था कि इतने में उसने फायर किया और मतलब आया था ही मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे पोल चाहिए इलेक्ट्रिक।
On 12th of May, Rahul Bhatt, a Kashmiri Pandit, was killed inside the Tehsil office of Badgam's Chadura. He was in his office, a high security zone, when militants armed with pistols fired upon him. Just a day after this killing, militants using pistols killed an off-duty Jammu and Kashmir police constable, Riaz Ahmed, in South Kashmir's Pulwama. Almost 2 weeks later, Amrina Bhatt, a social media influencer, was killed. On 31st of May, a Hindu teacher, namely Rajni, from Samba district of Jammu, was killed in Gopalpura village in Kulgam. The spate of targeted civilian killings in the valley have left Hindus in fear, and even Kashmiri Pandits, who came back after they were rehabilitated under the Prime Minister's job scheme in 2010, are living in fear and anxiety.
This is the largest transit camp which was built to accommodate Kashmiri Pandit families, and right now we are here. This is in Vesu and Anantnag district in Kashmir.
The Vesu transit camp is guarded with high security parameters of Jammu and Kashmir Police and Central Reserve Police Forces. Entry and exit points are thoroughly checked. However, most of the families have left amid rising fears and uncertainty, while many other families have been locked up inside the premises. Sandeep Kaul's 5-year-old daughter Hiyashvi caught fever on 3rd June, but they were not allowed to go out to even seek medical help.
Yesterday, my daughter got ill. She was not feeling well. Actually, our gates has been closed by the security. They were not allowing us to move outside from since a couple of days back. Then when I approached the gate, it was locked. I asked the policeman to please open it, and he refused. I told him that my daughter is not feeling well. I had to take her to the hospital, and but again he insisted. But I haven't been directed not to allow you to move outside. I told him, how you can stop me? Right. Have you got any orders for the same? He told me no. I have directions from my higher ups. I told him, just you call him up. I'll just talk to you. I'll just talk to him. So he then, called him up that some guys were here with his daughter. She's not feeling well. Somehow, after having a long chat with him as well, I told him that, see, boss, my daughter is not feeling well. I'm just going to broke it out. I'm just going to scuffle with you. You please let me go. And when he saw my, that anger kind of thing, he will just eventually revolt and all that. He, opened the gate. And when I went to the hospital with my daughter, even at that time I was very scared. Scared because what has been happening in the Kashmir from last 2 months or so, it is quite obvious. I was supposed to go to the ATM and take some money for cash for me. What happened? She was on my bike, but I was always looking around. Because that was the fear psychosis we are right now going through. I was just looking around, is there some guy who is, looking at me? I was, thinking that I was just sensing that everybody is looking at me. That kind of fear. Even they are my own people. I have been living with them from the last 2 years. Then, while taking cash in the ATM, some guy took out a phone from his pocket. I thought, I was so scared. I got so scared because my daughter was with me that I thought he is taking out a gun. That is kind of the scaredness we are facing right now. So I don't think that, in these kind of circumstances or situations, we can perform our duties and we can do our jobs over here.
स्थिति है, वापस
नहीं,
क्यों जाना चाह रहे हैं?
फॉर द लास्ट 12 ईयर्स हम यहाँ पे रहे, तो मुझे लग रहा है 10 ईयर्स तक, 11 ईयर्स तक हमने जॉब तो बड़े अच्छे से किया, ऐसा कोई नहीं लग रहा था, हम बड़े कंफर्टेबली रह रहे थे यहाँ पे। बट फॉर लास्ट ईयर, लास्ट अक्टूबर से यहाँ पे सिचुएशन ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि बहुत किलिंग्स हो गई यहाँ पे, मेजर हिंदू किलिंग्स हो गई। तो इस साल तो अब लास्ट 2 मंथ से तो बुरा ही हाल है यहाँ पे। तो इवन हम इतने इस टाइम डर में हैं कि इवन हम अपने बेबी को स्कूल नहीं भेज पा रहे हैं। तो हमारे बच्चों का फ्यूचर क्या है यहाँ पे? अभी पिछले लास्ट 3 ईयर से कोविड से सफ़र हो रहे थे, अब इस साल बेबी को हमने भेजा, चलो अब ये बच्चे लोग या हमारे यहाँ थोड़ी स्टडीज़ इनकी कंटिन्यू रहेगी। यहाँ पे हमारे बच्चे भी सफ़र कर रहे हैं, हम लोग बहुत सफ़र कर रहे हैं, हमारी लाइफ तो हेल बन चुकी है। अगर हमें उम्र भर ऐसे ही जीना है तो इस जीने का क्या मतलब है? ये लाइफ तो हेल है हमारी। हमारे बच्चे, आज हमारे बेबी का, मैं आपको पहले भी बता चुकी, आज फर्स्ट बर्थडे है मेरे बेबी का, हम फर्स्ट बर्थडे इसका सेलिब्रेट नहीं कर पा रहे। इवन एक केक हम बाहर से मंगवाए, हमारी इतनी हिम्मत नहीं हो रही हम बाहर तक जाए। ये कोई लाइफ है? ये जीने की लाइफ हमारे लिए नहीं है, मुझे नहीं लगता हमारे लिए सूटेबल जगह है। तो हमें
लोग अगर इस बार गए तो क्या कभी आना चाहेंगे वापस?
नहीं, हम लोग तो अब नहीं आना चाहिए, क्योंकि इंसान इतना जो भी कमाता है सब कुछ एक बच्चे के लिए। हमारे बच्चे ही यहाँ पे सफर कर रहे हैं, हम बच्चों को स्कूलिंग नहीं दे पा रहे हैं, स्कूलिंग नहीं भेज पा रहे हैं, स्टडीज नहीं है इनकी यहाँ पे। जब हम खुद नहीं बाहर निकल पाए, हम अपने बच्चों को कैसे भेजेंगे?
As per them, this is another forced migration from the Kashmir Valley.
The first migration in 1990 happened. I was 10 years old, and then the second migration was when I was brought back here in 2010. That was my second migration without my mom and dad. I used to serve here from last 12 years, and now this is the third migration when my kid is also 10 years old, and he's asking me, Papa, what's happening? So this is the third migration. See, they are playing politics on that. They are not allowing us to go to Jammu because of their own political interests. I don't know. But we are, our lives are at danger right now, and we cannot take any chance.
Similarly, the other transit camps in Baramulla, Kupwara, and Sheikhpura have reportedly seen families live under the cover of darkness. Statistically speaking, more Muslims have been killed in this spree of violence in Kashmir. Out of 18 killings this year, 12 were Muslims from the valley. We went to Srinagar's Khonmo area, where an elected Sarpanch, Sameer Bhatt, was killed in his house by an acquaintance who, as per the family, would often come to seek Sameer's help. The entire village is numb and wary of strangers. One of Sameer's friends told us he fears to be watched upon, and since the killing, he's trying to keep low.
वही उसका जो मैंने कहा कि वो सोशल बहुत था, वो he would allow each and everybody to come to his house for a signature, और अगर किसी को भी कुछ भी ज़रूरत होता था on that day also, for example, उसका जो ये था, उसका बाप था, उसने उसको बोला था कि मुझे इलेक्ट्रिक पोल चाहिए था, तभी on that pretext he came and asked. तो उसने कहा कि मैं अभी नीचे आता हूँ, मैं नीचे आता हूँ. My brother called him from, he was there on this veranda. He called, नीचे ही था, he called him, and he was my elder brother. He was upstairs. उसने कहा मैं अभी वापस आऊँगा, अभी नीचे आऊँगा. तो वो नीचे आया, उसने यहाँ से दूसरा जो साइड है उसका जूता वहाँ था, एक जूता उसने लगाया था और दूसरा जूता वो लगा रहा था कि इतने में उसने फायर किया. और मतलब आया था ही वो, मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे पोल चाहिए, इलेक्ट्रिक पोल चाहिए. आप देख लीजिए, जब ये मतलब डिफरेंट टारगेटेड किलिंग्स हुई, जब वो सिंगर जो है, लेडी सिंगर, मतलब हमें अफसोस है वो भी मर, लेकिन मेरा भाई भी मारा गया. आप देख लीजिए, जो एलजी है वो खुद जाते हैं, परसों जो जाते हैं वहाँ पे विजिट करने, डिफरेंट डिग्नेटरीज, और मेरे भाई की बात ही नहीं हुई कहीं पे, कोई नहीं. इवन उसका जो केस है, सीआईडी वेरिफिकेशन अभी तक नहीं हुई, अभी तक. आप देखो कितने महीने हो गए, एंड ही वाज पार्ट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ये है मतलब इट इज मतलब highest level of hypocrisy on the part of government.
This is not the first time that dreadful target killings happened in Kashmir. If we see the data from 2000 till now, the numbers have varied. But what's different this time? As per senior Jammu and Kashmir police officials, most of the killings are carried out by what they call hybrid or part-time militants. Essentially young people who moonlight as militants but are difficult to identify because they don't have a prior criminal record. Amid all this, life continues in a limbo for a few. They have to choose between possibly dying of hunger back home in Malda district of West Bengal and working in Kashmir under fear.
15 साल से आ रहा हूँ कश्मीर, यही काम कर रहा हूँ मजदूरी का। डर क्या है, डर उतना नहीं है, समझो काम तो ऐसे तो हत्या होते हैं तो उस समय तो डर लगता ही है कि बाहर का आदमी को ज़्यादा मारते हैं ना, इसीलिए डर लगता है उतना।
काम करते हुए डर थोड़ा लगता है, अब क्या करेगा, यही डर लगता है कि अगर कोई आया कुछ पूछा कि कहाँ से है ये वो, यही बताते हैं। लेकिन कश्मीर में उतना हम तो लगभग 2010 आता हूँ, कोई तो हम लोगों को परेशानी आई इसी वजह से कभी किया नहीं।
But there is a glimmer of hope here at the Kheer Bhavani Mela. Kashmiri Muslims have come to the Mela anticipating they may be able to unite with their friends who had left in 1990s.
मेरा नाम है मोहम्मद सुल्तान डार, मैं यहाँ ही रहता हूँ, यहाँ से 2 किलोमीटर दूर शेखपुरा में रहता हूँ। हम यहाँ इसलिए आए हैं कि हमारे हमसाये यहाँ से भाग गए माइग्रेशन की, उन्होंने उनके साथ मुलाकात करने के लिए आए हैं, बस इतना ही।
किसी से मिले आप?
हाँ, अभी कोई भी नहीं मिला। आप अभी वेट कर रहे हैं? हाँ।
Since the exodus in 1990 to 1991, Kashmiri Pandits living in the valley have been taking care of the temple and making sure that the annual festival is celebrated with much fervor.
Targeted killings have become an yearly ritual in Kashmir. People in the valley say it's getting worse by each passing day ever since the abrogation of Article 370. But the government maintains that it's in fact getting better. But keeping the politics and the rhetoric aside, the civilians in the valley, and especially the minorities and Kashmiri Pandits, are finding it extremely difficult to live a life of peace and dignity. And the government doesn't seem to have a plan to fix it. I'm Tanushree Pandey reporting with Sajid Ali from Kashmir.